KD9MED, this is K9RFD. Good evening, my... Okay, it sounds good, Mike. I will be starting that here about another 6 or 7 minutes or so. Okay, I won't need to call you at 8 o'clock. I know you'll be ready to go. So, okay, it sounds good. K9RFD will be clear. All stations will be calling the Friday Night Fun Net in approximately 6 minutes. K9RFD will be clear. Stand by for the net. The Friday Night Fun Net is on the air. Good evening, everybody. It's 8 o'clock. And welcome to the Friday Night Fun Net on the W9AXD Repeater in Rockford. My name is Jim. My call is K9GCR. I'm located here in Freeport. I'll be your net control, your host this evening. The purpose of having this net is what the name implies, to have fun. This is what this hobby of amateur radio is all about, in addition to providing emergency communications if when situation warrants. The secondary purpose of this net is providing on-air meeting place for all amateur radio operators. Everybody's welcome to check in. You do not have to be a member of any club, organization, group, or association to participate in this net. All you need is a valid FCC license. This net meets each and every Friday evening at 8 p.m. This repeater is a PL 114.8 minus offset. You need to have that programmed into your radio in order to have access to the repeater. For those of you who may be using older radios that do not have PL capability, or if the PL in your radio is not working properly, you can check into the Friday Night Fun Net by using the repeater output frequency, the straight 610 simplex. If I hear you, I will acknowledge you and check you in the net. This is the Friday Night Fun Net for Friday, August 21st, 2022. This net is being live streamed around the world on the internet. If you wish to check in to the net via the internet, just go ahead and check in like you always do. And Mike, KD9MED Don Rochelle, who's live streaming this net, will relay your internet checking to me via the radio. Then also, the net is also being recorded for future replay on the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. Also, if you're out in the sticks, if you can hear the repeater but you can't get to it due to conditions, or else you're too far away from it, or you don't have internet access, just give me a call on the Friday Night Fun Net Central Hotline, area code 815-232-FN, 232-3636. I'll take your checking over the phone, but try to check it on the radio first. Okay, also, I believe that Ron, N2RON, has his Echo Link connected to this repeater. Those of you who are listening via the Echo Link, you're welcome to check in. I'll take your Echo Link check-ins. I just gotta be careful not to key up so quickly. Okay, here's what we're going to do. First, we're going to take a short time of mobilizations. If you got family considerations, or you rather concentrate your driving, or something else is taking place that you can't stay for the net, I'll take your short time of mobilizations. If you have traffic, we'll do your traffic right away. After that, I'll take general check-ins. First, I'll take general check-ins from northern Illinois. Next, I'll take general check-ins from southern Wisconsin. After that, I'll take general check-ins from anywhere in northern Illinois or southern Wisconsin. When you check into the net, state whether or not you have traffic. Your traffic consists of breakfasts, marathons, bike rides, or ham fests. Then, also, we'll do our regular features. We'll do the W9UIJ Carl's Corner. This is our TechNet portion. If you have any technical questions, or you having a problem with your tower or amplifier, what kind of an antenna you want to put up on your tower, or I should say, are you having a problem with your power supply or amplifier? What kind of an antenna do you want to put up on your tower, and what kind of a radio should I get, mobile, base, all mode, or what have you there? This segment is in honor of our late great friend and colleague, Carl Larson, W9UIJ. He used to do a couple of tech nets on the radio back several years ago. He would read articles from different publications about theory, propagation, electrical principles, or what have you. If you have any technical questions, please feel free to ask them, and we'll do our best to try to answer them for you. Also, we'll do our W9 Gene Duncan DX Corner in honor of our late great friend and colleague, Gene Duncan, W9GD, the king of DX. Every time you checked this net, you always had a DX report to pass along. I myself have quite a few DX reports that I want to give out, so okay. Then we'll do our swap net. You have items to buy, sell, trade, or want related to hobbies for amateur radio computers, please feel free to advertise them, and we'll see what we can do about to help you get rid of them. roundtable for tonight. Well, actually, I'm going to do another survey. This is a result of our conversation we had after the, I believe, after the Tuesday evening, or I think it was after the Monday evening, Ron-Ron-Net, about the FCC giving CB radio operators the license. Now they can go to FM now. They're talking about, now there's some reports are going to be making new radios with the new CB FM band and some of the sideband channels. The question I'm going to ask tonight, should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to amateur radio? We'll see what happens with that. Okay, I think we had a 2-hour 13-minute net last week. I hope you enjoyed the net about what was your favorite beer. So, okay. Oktoberfest is pretty much over with now. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to get back to business here. Okay. Okay, with all the so-called formalities out of the way, let's get underway. Do we have any short-time mobile stations I'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun net? Please call now.
Alpha 9, Victor Uniform. Michael in Janesville, I have no traffic.
Kilo Charlie 9, Alpha Golf Romeo.
November 9, Golf Bravo Papa, Greg in Radford, no traffic.
Whiskey 3, Mike Bravo X-Ray, Mad in Radford, no traffic.
Oh, no traffic.
For Kilo 9, Foxtrot, David, Mobile, Floyd area, no traffic.
Okay, stations stand by. We got a whole slew of them coming in. All right, AE9VU, Mike and Janesville, I've got you checked in. Thank you for checking in, Southern. Have a good evening. K9AGR, Jennifer, the EC in Rock County, I've got you checked in. Jennifer, you have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. N9GBP, Greg and Robert, we got you checked in. Southern, have a good evening. Maybe we'll catch you on the Saturday evening gratitude net tomorrow night at this time on this repeater. W9AXD Matt in Rockford, we got you checked in. Southern, have a good evening. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night. K9RFD David Boyd, I've got you checked in. Southern, you have a good evening. Thanks for checking in. Okay, any more short time on mobile stations who would like to check in the Friday Night Fun net, please call now.
KD9HKX, Larry and Roscoe, short time, no traffic.
AC9NW, Tom and Roscoe, short time, no traffic.
Okay, I've got two more stations that checked in. KD9HKX, Larry and Roscoe, I've got you checked in, Larry. You have, thank you for checking. You have a good evening. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night on the Ragtune net. AC9NW, Tom and Roscoe, I've also got checked in. You have a good evening, and maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night on the Saturday evening Ragtune net. By the way, if your schedule permits, you're always welcome to recheck into this net too. Okay, thanks both of you for checking in. There was another station trying to check in. Another station, come back, please.
Kilo Delta 9, Quebec Victor Bravo, Brian and Roscoe, no traffic.
KD9QVB, Brian, we've got you checked in. Brian, Southern, have a good evening. We'll talk to you down the logs. Thanks for checking in. Any more short time mobile stations for the Friday Night Fun net, please call now. Okay, we got 8 short time stations. I did have an early check-in there. Dave, K9YE in Broadhead, in Wisconsin, near Broadhead, I should say, checked in a few minutes before the net starts, so he's my one and only early bird to check in. We got him checked in. Okay, that concludes the short time of mobile stations. At this time, I will take general check-ins for the Friday Night Fun net. Any general check-ins from Northern Illinois wish to check in, please call now.
K9KZT, Larry.
KZT, Larry, in Rockford, KFCW. Okay, Larry, I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois with the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KC9QPL, Paul in Lovespark.
K9QPL, Paul in Loves Park. Got you checked in, Paul. Thanks for checking in. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thank you for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois with the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KD9SSV, Mike in Roscoe.
KD9SSV, Mike in Roscoe. I've got you checked in, Mike. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KD9MED.
South Beloit. Good evening, Jimmy, and I have no traffic.
Okay, I had two stations checking in at the same time. Mike's K9MED Don Rochelle. I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. N9OEG, Chris in South Beloit. Was that you trying to check in?
Yes, it was, Jimmy. N9OEG. Chris, South Beloit, no traffic, and good evening.
N9OEG, Chris in South Beloit. Okay, Chris, I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KD9MED, Carrie in Rockford.
KD9MED, Carrie in Rockford, the king of digital DX. Okay, Carrie, I've got you checked in. I'll get back to you a few minutes for your. I know you have a DX report. We'll get to that. Then later on, we'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois with the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
Kilowatt Echo 9 Norway. My name is Kurt, and I'm in Roscoe.
KE9N, Kurt in Roscoe. Kurt, Rah-Rah President, I've got you checked in, Kurt. We'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more the general check-ins from Northern Illinois for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Well, we had a big turnout from Northern Illinois. Let's see if we can get just good a turnout from Southern Wisconsin. Do we have any stations in Southern Wisconsin who'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
Kilo 9, Zulu, India, Papa, Joe in Janesville.
This is K9GCR, the Friday Night Fun Net on the W9AXD Repeater in Rockford, transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net, Sedgwick in Freeport. K9ZIP, Joe in Janesville, K9ZIP. Okay, got you checked in, Joe, from Janesville. I'll get back to you a few minutes roundtable. Thanks for checking in. Any more general check-ins from Southern Wisconsin for the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go on. Well, it is Friday Night Fish Fry Night in Wisconsin. Everybody's at their favorite bar, restaurant, tavern, eating their catfish, buffalo, carp, northern pike, walleye, crappie, muskie, or what have you. Those of you in the Milwaukee area, you're eating your Polish sausages, hot dogs, and broad kielbasa, and their Braunschweiger. Of course, your cheese lovers read some of that famous Wisconsin cheese. Okay, at this time, do we have any check-ins from anywhere in Northern Illinois or Southern Wisconsin who'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
W9KLG short time.
W9KLG, Kevin in South Rockford checking in short time. Okay, Kevin, I've got you checked in. Southern, have a good evening. Thanks for checking the Friday Night Fun. And if you have time, you're always welcome to recheck in. Okay. Any more general check-ins from Northern Illinois or Southern Wisconsin like to check in the Friday Night Fun net? Please go now. Okay, this is K9RFD Sierra, net control of the Friday Night Fun net. Or now we're going to get into the traffic portion. I do have some traffic. In case if you've been listening to the nets for the past few weeks, I made an announcement about Richard at N9CO. He's battling a bad cold. So I don't know if he's listening or not. But please, folks, let's say prayers for him. Let's keep him in his thoughts and prayers. Let's hope this cold does not turn into anything worse. He's one of the best guys in the whole world. He doesn't check in every Friday night, but he listens every Friday night. But please keep Richard N9CO in his thoughts and prayers. Let him get over his cold. As you know, he just renewed his license earlier this year. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to check him in right now. N9CO. So, okay, he's already checking. I usually do it at the end of it, but I'm going to do it tonight there, so, with a little bit towards the beginning, so, okay, and yes, keep, say prayers for Jerry Anderson, N9ZBI, who was battling stage 4 lung cancer. He had his chemotherapy treatment earlier this week, and let's hope and pray for the best, so that he can get over this. Okay, that's my traffic. Does anybody have any traffic you'd like to pass along for the net? Okay, at this time, we're gonna do the let me get my papers here. Oh yeah. W9UIJ Carl's Corner. This is our TechNet portion. This is where you get to ask questions. You have any technical questions? Are you having a problem with your amplifier or power supply? What kind of an antenna should I put up on my tower? What kind of a radio should I get? Mobile, based, or all mobile, or what have you? We do this in honor of the late, great Carl Larson, W9UIJ. He used to have several TechNets on these repeaters several years ago. He would read articles from the different ham radio publications about propagation, theory, electrical principles, you name it, he read it. So, okay. Does anybody have any technical questions they would like to bring before the net at this time? Okay. There being no tech questions, we'll move on to the next side, which is the W9 Gene Duncan DX Corner. Of our late great friend and colleague, Gene Duncan, the W9TD, the king of DX. Every time he checked in his net, he always had a DX report that he'd like to pass along. Okay. Does anybody have any DX reports that he'd like to pass along?
KB9SSV.
KD9SSV. Okay, Mike, go ahead. What you got for us?
Yeah, I've made numerous bunch of contacts on 10, 15, and 12. Italy, Bulgaria, Sardinia, Northern Ireland, Uruguay, Brazil, New Zealand, Italy, Hungary, North Wales, Lithuania, a couple more Italys, Norway, Argentina, a couple Argentinas, and that was about it. Back to net.
Made quite a bit of contacts. That is great. That's great. Okay, congratulations. and thank you for bringing your DX report. So okay, so that sounds good. Keep working that DX. Okay. Anybody else have any DX reports you'd like to pass along?
KD9MED.
K9MED. Okay, Kerry, what do you got for us?
This is KD9MED. Thank you, Jimmy. Good evening, everybody. It was a fabulous week for DX. I worked 27 different countries this week outside the United States. No new countries, but a lot of excitement. First, I'll tell you about the big ones that got away. TY0RU in Benin, VU2EII in India, 9J2BS in Zambia. All three stations I heard well this week, but they couldn't hear me. Too bad. I'll get them next week. Brief reset. Out of the contacts that I did complete, there's two that I'll point out. The most distant contact was YC1AWT in West Java, 9,800 miles on that one. I also contacted a Kaliningrad station, RC2FB, and this one is kind of interesting. This is the westernmost city in Russia, and there's a big Russian naval base there, and it's a closed city. They don't let visitors in. They don't let people take photographs or anything. But yeah, it's pretty weird. The name of the city is Valtiysk, and I'll let the computer pronounce it for you.
Valtiysk.
That's easy for her to say. KD9MED.
Oh, yeah, okay, son. Well, congratulations on working Kaliningrad. Too bad you, hopefully you worked those stations that got away from you. In case you don't know where, folks, in case you don't know where Kaliningrad is, it's between Poland and Lithuania. That was part of the Soviet Union, along with Estonia, Latvia, and Lithuania before those three countries broke away. That's the west. Yeah, that is the west. That is a part of Russia. It's the westernmost part of Russia. You are right about that, Kerry. Okay, thank you. Thank you for those DX reports. Okay, now. Oh, by the way, while I'm thinking about this, Kerry, I got my 13 colonies certificate in the mail about a couple of days ago. I was thinking this week. I said I should hear from them any time now. And sure enough. Thank you for doing that. I got my certificate. I got it hanging up on the wall. So thank you very much for doing that for me.
Oh, you're very welcome, Jimmy. I finally got my federal tax return checked this week. Oh, hey, I got a geography question for you. I know you're good at geography. You know, I mentioned that one of the big ones that got away was in Benin, BENIN in Africa. I'll bet you know what that country used to be called. KD9MED.
This is K9GCR to Friday Night Funnet on the W9AXD Repeater round for transferring from Friday Night Funnet Chapter in Freeport. I'm going to say Dahomey.
That's right. I knew you'd know that, Jimmy. KD9MED.
Well, look at the old Belgian Congo. They used to be the Republic of the Congo, then they changed their name to Zaire. Now they're back to being called the Democratic Republic of the Congo. Of course, you got two Congos. The one, the former French Congo, is the capital is Brazzaville, and the former Belgian Congo, the Democratic Republic, or DRC as they call it. The capital is Kinshasa. That was formerly Leopoldville. I remember 12, 13 years old. That was big news. But back in the day when they went independent from Belgium, they had all that fighting going on there.
You have an elephant's memory. You're so amazing, Jimmy. Yeah, I did notice the split up of the Congo when I was looking up Benin, trying to figure out where that was. I knew it was in Africa somewhere. All right, thanks a lot. I'll see you on the round table. KD9MED.
Okay, Kerry, we'll talk to you in a few minutes. Okay. Thanks for checking and giving the DX report. Now, my DX report. This past last Saturday, I made 4 contacts with stations in the New York QSO party. Let me get out my log here. I gotta get my paper separated here. Oh boy. Okay, we'll find it. All right. Now the 4 stations I made contact with the New York QSO party. Whiskey 2 Charlie Charlie Charlie. At 31 hours. Then the next station the N November 2 Oscar Alpha at 15:44 hours. Oh, let me get the W2CCZ was on 14.277. November 2 Oscar Alpha was on 14.238. And 7 minutes later, I had contact with the Kilo 2 X-ray and Alpha in New York at 15:51 hours on 14.226. And my final contact with New York State was on a 14.234 megahertz at 15:58 hours, 7 minutes after that. Kilo Delta 2, Uniform Hotel Foxtrot. Those are my 4 stations I worked on the New York QSO party. Let me reset. Now, last Sunday I worked 8 stations in the Illinois QSO party. First contact on 7.268 megahertz at 18:20 hours. Whiskey 9 Tango at X-ray Mike, Ogle County. Next, second contact, that was 18:35 hours. Kilo Delta 9 Golf a Yankee from Lake County. And third contact was 7.224 at 18:54. Whiskey 9 Delta. Now here's the thing. He must live on the county line. He was giving me 4.0 in Bond/Fayette County, so that he must live on the county line or something like that. Or maybe half his property is in Bond County, the other half of his property was in Fayette County. I don't know how that works that way. Let me reset. The fourth contact was right here in Freeport. I called Wynn, W9MSL. He did not know that the Illinois QSO party was taking place, and I contacted him last year and he said his antenna blew down. He was not, so we made arrangements. We switched over to 14.260. Wynn only lives a few blocks south and west of me, so of course he was giving me the 20/0. So okay, my fifth contact. My fifth contact was on 7.275 at 20:01 hours. November 2 Bravo Juliet from Will County, Illinois. Let me reset. My sixth contact was on 7.281, I should say, at 20:07 hours. Kilo 9 and Charlie Tango from Peoria County, Illinois. Third contact on 7.245 megahertz at 20:51 hours with Kilo 9 Bravo Golf Lima. He was in St. Clair County, Illinois, down in St. Louis. That was the toughest station I worked so far with that Illinois QSO party. And my last contact was on 7.211 megahertz at 21:27 hours with Whiskey 9 Quebec Lima in Lake County, Illinois. So those are my 8 contacts with the Illinois QSO party this last Sunday. Okay, today I made 2 more contacts on 14.236 megahertz with a Whiskey 4 Lima Mike Sierra in Georgia and the second contact was that was on the first contact, 16:55 hours, and about another hour later, on 17:59 hours, Victor Echo 3, Kilo, let's see, Victor Echo 3, Kilo, Zulu Echo, I don't know, they had some sort of contest or whatever going on in Canada, 1437 in Ontario, Canada. So those are all of my HF contacts I've worked so far. Okay, Terry, K9MED, what do you think of all those contacts I made?
I think that's great, Jimmy. They get easier and easier every week as we climb up toward the peak of the solar cycle. It was just a great week. Even for VHF listing, I found it to be a very, very good week. KD9MED.
Okay, Kerry, sounds good. That's great. That's great. So yeah, I'll probably see if I can work more stations this coming weekend too. So okay, sounds good. All right. Does any other station have any DX reports they'd like to pass along? Okay, now we'll go over the swamp net. All items to be bought, sold, or traded must be related to hobbies of RAM, radio, or computers. All items to be bought, sold, or traded must be the property of or in possession of the person who wants to get rid of the stuff. It may mention prices over the air, but any haggling should take place either in person or over the telephone. Also, no commercial business of any kind is allowed. Does anybody have any swamp net traffic they'd like to pass along? Okay, but by the way, when I was working those stations, the Illinois QSO party, I sat in this chair for exactly 3 hours and about 3.5 hours. I didn't hardly move at all. Okay, all right, I'll tell you what. Do we have any more stations I'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
Whiskey 3, Mike Bravo X-Ray, Matt in Rockford, checking back in.
Okay, Matt, I'll tell you what. I'm gonna get to you the first here. This is the round table here now. We're talking about the FCC just gave the okay for the CB operators to go to use FM. Now there's talk that when the new radios come out, they'll have the FM band for the CBers. They'll also have the single sideband channels. Now we talked about this I think at the end of the I think it was the end of the Round Info Net or the Elton Detected. I was asking, I'm asking everybody. Now, should the FCC return the 11-meter band, that's a CB band, to an amateur radio? That was many years ago. That was the ham radio band. Okay, now you've been, of course, you've only been in this hobby for a short time, Matt, but what do you say?
W9AXD. Yeah, I actually remember when I was a kid, my dad had a CB, and he had to get a license for it. I'm just starting to look at the HF stuff a little bit, and you know, between the 10 and the 12 meters, you know, I mean, if they want the 11 meters and they've had it, you know, I don't know how much traffic there is, though, in, you know, between 10 and 12, and if it's really plugged up, I'd say give it back, but if it's not that plugged up, then, you know, let those guys do their thing. I think the only issue is that, you know, when I'm looking at radios and stuff, it's not just 11 meters. The frequency range in those, and I guess it's called free banding or something like that, they bleed into the 10 and the 12, I think, but that's just my real limited knowledge of this. We'll go back to that.
Okay, I'll put you down as being in between then. So okay, that sounds good. Yeah, I was a CB operator back in the 70s. I had to apply. It took me 8 weeks to get my FCC license. And I'll tell you what, we had to my little nephews for Thanksgiving there. They had a little walkie-talkie, so they walked around ride-outs, and I had I talked to them on channel 14 on the CB. At the time, my license had not gone through yet. So I said, well, if anybody says anything, I'll just say we're just conducting a test. So, well, in a way, that was what we did. So okay, sounds good. Okay, Matt, thanks for checking in and giving us your input. So okay, let's see now. K9KZT. Okay, Larry, glad you're feeling better. What do you say about this? Should the FCC give the 11 meters back to the ham operator?
K9KZT. Well, thank you, Jimmy, for your concern. Appreciate that, really do. Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the nicest guys you're going to meet on the air, Jimmy. Anyway, about the 11 meters, if the FCC gives it back to the hams, the CBers are not going to just go away. They're going to continue to use it, and it will just be a big fat mess. I don't think we need more frequencies. I think it's very hard to defend the frequencies we have now against commercial interests if we don't use them. You just tune across some of the bands, especially at like 6 meters or something like that, or 220 or 222, I guess it is now, and there's nobody there. How do we defend that against the commercial interest that wants it for their land mobile or something like that? Back to you, Jimmy. K9KZT.
Okay, Kerry, sounds good. I put you down as in the no column. So okay, sounds good. Thanks. We're just doing a survey. I don't have no opinion one way or the other. So we'll just see how this plays out. So well, you know, as far as I'm concerned, the CB radio is dead. Don't hardly hear anybody, even if there isn't much traffic, even on the truckers' channel like they used to be. The only ones here nowadays, those stations with their 500,000 watt linear saying, oh, and all that kind. They don't make sense. Ain't that something? Okay, thanks for checking in, and we'll look forward to CW practice next week. Okay, KC9QPL, Paul, what do you say? What's going on with you? Should the FCC give the 11 meters back to the ham operator?
KC9QPL here. Well, I don't know if CB's not going to be using it. So I guess they might as well give it back to us. But several years ago, I had to get a license for CB, and I don't think they have to do that now. I think they should. We'll say 73 and be clear.
Yeah, like I said, I had to wait 8 weeks for my license to go through. I applied in October, and it didn't. I think it was around Pearl Harbor Day in 1975. So that's, I would have my base installed and what have you there. So, okay. Thanks for checking in, Paul Southry. Have a good evening. All right. KD9SSV. Okay, Mike. What do you say? Should the FCC give the 11 meter band back to the ham operator?
Yeah, let's scrape it back. No, just joking. No, I think, there's too much equipment out there, CB land. And if you're on channel 38 lower sideband, there is a lot of DXers on the lower sideband. Channel 38. I don't think they're going to give up their equipment so easily. They're not going to let it go idle, that's for sure. And they should probably bring back the licenses for CBs. I never had one, but my wife had one back in the 70s. But That's the name of that game. And as far as FM, I guess Europe had FM forever over there on 11 meters. But sometimes you got the guys on channel 6. There's another channel 6. I think it's channel 6 is the big one. They run like a gazillion watts on there and bleed everything out. But yeah, even 11 meters back to the hams isn't going to do nothing. It's not going to stop anybody. They're just going to keep going, that's for sure. So yeah, I'd say just keep 11 meters for the 11 CB guys. And that, we'll go back to net, Mr. Jim, KC9GCR. This is KD9SSV.
Sounds good, Mike. Okay, thanks for your input there. We'll just wait and see what happens here. Now, the other thanks for checking in. K9MED. Okay, now I know, Mike, you've been in this hobby for a short time anyway. But what do you say? Should the FCC give the 11-meter bands back to the amateur radio?
Well, given my age, I can tell you I can certainly remember when a relative of mine have a license out there. All went away. I don't know, I'm kind of on the fence for it. I mean, it'd be nice if they actually had some kind of a licensing system going on, but, you know, heck on it. Oh. K9MED.
I'll tell you what, you know what, in your way, I think you're right. A couple of other hams said the same thing. I think maybe you're right. They should bring back the license requirement. I think we had to read, I think it was Part 95 or Part 97. We had to understand it. And are you familiar with Part 97? Or have you read the book and what have you there? So you got a point there. You got a point. Okay, thanks. Thanks for your input there, Mike. Chris, K9OEG in South Beloit. What do you say? Should the FCC give the 11-meter band back to the ham radio operator? N9OEG, Chris in South Beloit, are you still there? Okay, we'll move on there to Kerry, KD9MED. What do you say? Should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to an amateur radio?
This is KD9MED. My answer would be no. I just can't think of a good reason to do it. I'm aware that there's some disrespect for CBers in the ham radio community, but the CBers do have their own distinct subculture. They do have their own functioning networks that, at the very least, provide a supplement to emergency communications, just as we wish to do. So, no. And as for the traffic on CB, I've monitored it a couple of times this year, and with a good antenna, there's a lot of traffic out there to be heard. So, yeah, I myself, I just say live and let live, I guess. KD9MED.
This is KC9GCR with the Friday Night Fun Net of the W9AXD Repeater Rockford transfer for Friday Night Fun Net, etc. and Freeport. Okay, I put you down as in the no column, Kerry, so okay, thanks for your input. Okay, now let's go to the rah-rah president, KE9N, Kurt in Orozco. Kurt, what do you think? Should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to an amateur radio?
KC9GCR, KE9N. Hey, everyone sounded really good tonight, so it's good to hear everyone. My opinion would be no. They wouldn't have to. It wouldn't make my heart skip a beat at all. I wouldn't use it necessarily. I just don't find any use for it. I don't know what they could do with it, but as far as ham radio goes, I don't think I'd return it to us. My gosh, we got so many bands to work with already. I don't think it'd be worthwhile.
Okay, sounds good. I'll put you down as a no-com. Okay, 4am say no, and I don't have anybody. It's 4-0. So, okay, sounds okay, Kurt. Hey, thanks for your input. I hope, hopefully, Dean K9FLO gets on there soon. So, okay, thanks for giving us your input. K9ZIP, Joe in Janesville. Are you still with us? What do you say? Should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to the AMS radio operator?
This is K9ZIP. Good evening. I'm still here. Unfortunately, I know nothing about this issue, so I'm not going to cast my vote on this one, so to speak. I guess it just doesn't matter to me, and I haven't read up much about it, so put me down as in between, I guess. K9ZIP, back to net.
Okay, that's 2 stations and they're in between. Okay, sounds good. Sounds good there. Joe, thanks for checking in. We haven't heard you in a while, so okay. W9KLG, Kevin has checked in short time, so he's gone. This is K9 GCR net control of Friday Night Fun. I'm not going to give an opinion one way or another. I think we'll just wait and see how things play out. I don't know what portion of the FM band the CBers would be operating up, so I don't know. So I don't know all the particulars. So okay, that concludes my list. Are there any more stations who want to check in the Friday Night Fun net? Are you coming over to Friday night fish fry, steak fry, grocery shopping, or the show? Have you just turned your radio on? You've been copying the mail for the last 48 minutes. This is your chance to check in the Friday Night Fun net from anywhere in the region without traffic. Please call K9 GCR. Everybody must be enjoying the weather tonight there. Well, hey, it's going to be a great weekend. I think you heard the song, it's June and January. Well, it's going to be August and October. It's close to 80 degrees, possibly tomorrow and Sunday. If you feel like it, get those fans and ACs going and working one more time. The return of summer. Even if it is for a couple of days. Okay, any more stations you'd like to check the Friday Night Fun net? Please go on. Well, you know what? I think I am in complete agreement with something. I think they should be required to get a license again. At least read Part 95 or Part 97 anyway. So I think you guys are right. Okay, now, with Halloween coming up, by the way, next Friday, we're going to have our special Halloween edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. I'm going to ask everybody what are your favorite holiday, what was your favorite memories of the holiday was, when you went out trick-or-treating as a youngster or whatever. And then I'm going to ask if you got any plans for Halloween. So that's what we're going to do. Okay. This Halloween radio nut joke's from Brad, WW2D. You know you are a radio nut when you make a rare DX contact in Transylvania with Ghost, Golf Hotel Oscar Sierra the Tango, at his haunted evil lair with his pet mummy. Let's see. I want to find. We're going to find another one here. Well, you know what? Next week I'm going to read all the Halloween radio nut jokes. I'm going to read a couple of ones here. So Okay, this is from Steve, W9WFM. You know you're a radio nut when every Halloween you dress up as Gordon West. Here's another one from David, AK9W. You know you're a radio nut when you go out trick-or-treating on Halloween and you take your HT with you. Here's another one from Mike, H9JG. You know you're a radio nut when the ETs use your radio as a homing device. Okay, I think that's enough of the Halloween radio nut jokes. We're gonna read more of them next Friday night. Okay, any border stations want to check in? Please call now. Okay, I'm trying to get stuff put away here, so bear with me here. Okay, okay. Now here's what we're going to do next. We're going to read. Okay. We're going to do Friday Night Fun trivia. And okay, as you remember last week, I read the question. In the United States, what circuit does black wire insulation indicate in a 3-wire 120-volt cable? Well, I believe let's see. It says that the book says equipment ground, but I believe and I think several hams say I don't think that's the right answer, and I believe you are right. So I will know in the future. I will no longer be reading that question since there would be some dispute about that. So okay, we'll skip it. Won't read that question anymore. Okay. I'm not reading that one. Doesn't sound right. One moment, please. I'm not reading that. Good grief. Okay. First question. Which of the following receiver bandwidths provides the best signal-to-ground ratio for SSB reception? A, 500 hertz. B, 1000 hertz. B, 2400 hertz. D, 5000 hertz. Which of the following receiver bandwidths provides the best signal-to-noise ratio for SSB reception? A, 500 hertz. B, 1000 hertz. C, 2400 hertz. D, 5000 hertz. Anybody have correct answer to this question?
He said T. C. Go ahead.
You are correct, Larry. You are correct. Which of the following receiver bandwidth provides the best signal-to-noise ratio for SSB reception? Correct answer is C, Charlie, 2400 hertz. A receiver rejects unwanted signals through the use of filters. At receiver input, a filter passes only signals from the selected band. Those signals then pass through filters narrow enough to reject all but the desired signal. In the parentheses, says narrow means a smaller bandwidth and wide means a greater bandwidth. Wide filters, around 2.4 kilohertz, are used for SSB reception. Ham Radio License Manual, page 5-9. Find another one here. All these questions are from the New Tech Q&A book. Okay. What is the effect of fog and rain on signals in the 10-meter and 6-meter bands? A, absorption. B, B, there is little effect. C, deflection. D, range increase. What is the effect of fog and rain on signals in the 10 meter and 6 meter bands? A, absorption. B, there is little effect. C, deflection. D, range increase. Anybody correct to answer this question? Okay, I'll read this question one more time. What is the effect of fog and rain on signals in the 10 meter and 6 meter bands? A, absorption. B, there is little effect. C, deflection. D, range increase. Anybody correct to answer this question?
Is that T, A?
Just a minute. Sorry, K9KCT, sorry, that's not correct. I know you said E, that's not correct. There was somebody else trying to get in. Anybody else want to give it a shot?
KD9MED. This is purely a guess, but I'll say B, Bravo.
You guessed correctly, Kerry, you guessed correctly. What is the effect of fog and rain on signals in the 10 meter and 6 meter bands? Correct answer is B, Bravo. There is little effect. Okay. Let's find another one. Okay. What technique is used to ensure that voice messages containing unusual words are received correctly? A, send the words by voice in Morse code. B, speak very loudly into the microphone. C, spell the words using a standard phonetic alphabet. D, all of these choices are correct. What technique is used to ensure that voice messages containing unusual words are received correctly? A, send the words by voice in Morse code. B, speak very loudly into the microphone. C, spell the words using a standard phonetic alphabet. D, all of these choices are correct. Anybody correct to answer this question?
Hello on Echo 9 Norway.
Go ahead, Kurt.
I think it's C as in Charlie.
You think it's She's and Charlie? You're right. You are correct. What technique is used to ensure that voice messages containing unusual words are received correctly? Correct answer is C, Charlie. Spell the words using a standard phonetic alphabet. To help a receiving station copy a message exactly, proper names such as John Doe and unusual words such as material names or model identifiers are spelled out using standard phonetics. Ham Radio License Manual, page 6-17. All right. Okay. Which of the following is an example of remote control as defined in Part 97? A, repeater operation. B, operating the station over the internet. C, controlling a model aircraft, motor car by amateur radio. D, all of these choices are correct. Which of the following is an example of remote control as defined in Part 97? A, repeater operation. B, operating the station over the internet. C, controlling a model aircraft, motor car by amateur radio. D, all of these choices are correct. Anybody correct to answer this question?
Is that T, D?
Did you say D Delta, Larry?
Correcto.
Well, I'll tell you what. Sorry, that's not correct. Hey, thanks for trying anyway. Anybody else want to give it a try?
KB9SSV. I'll go with Alpha. A.
No, sorry, that's not correct either. Okay. Anybody else want to give this? We'll try one more time. If anybody doesn't give it, I'll read the question, give the correct answer. Anybody else want to give it a shot?
KD9MED. I want to get this straight now, Jimmy. It's part 97, right? Not part 98.
I say part 98. Sorry about that. It's part 97. Part 97. Yeah, the CB rules and regulations are part 95. That's how long I've been out of the hobby. Okay, Terry, go ahead.
Under part 97, the correct answer is Bravo.
You are correct, Terry. You are correct. Which of the following is an example of remote control as defined in part 97? Correct answer is B, Bravo, operating the station or the internet. All right. Before we continue, are there any more stations that would like to check in the Friday Night Fun at this time? Please call now.
KD9EPZ.
KD9EPZ. Good evening, Al. How are you getting along?
I am so tired. I wish I could doze off and get some sleep, but it's not letting me. I am dead tired.
Oh boy, I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that. Okay. Well, at least you're back home. That's the important thing. Okay. I'm asking the question tonight. I don't know if you heard the news or not. The FCC has voted to give CBers a chance to operate on FM. There's talk when they come out with the new radios, they're going to still have the traditional CB as sideband frequencies, as well as the FM frequencies. Tonight I'm asking the question, should the 11-meter band be given back to the ham radio operators? What do you say?
Not necessarily. I think it doesn't gonna make much difference anymore.
Okay, Al, I put you down as in the no column. So the no's have got so far. It's 5-0 no, and the two stations in between. So okay, that sounds good. I don't have an opinion one way or the other. Excuse me. And you know they say if that would ever happen, you know that the CBers would not give up the band without a fight, and you know that for a fact.
It's too difficult to give us back the band and not expect there to be a bunch of non-licensed operation on it.
Yeah, well, the Citizens Band Service came into existence in 1958. Before that, 11 meters was all strictly ham radio property. That was about it there. So, okay, Al, sounds good. Well, I'll tell you what. Get over what you got there, and let's hope you're sounding like yourself next time. So, okay, have a good. Thank you for checking in, Al. We're still in the middle of the trivia segment. I'll see if I can find a couple more questions here. So, okay, any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun? Then please call now.
KT9DCR, KD9HWK.
KD9HWK. Good evening, Matt. What's going on with you?
Oh, not a whole lot. I was outside enjoying this warm weather for a little bit. It's really pretty nice out, so that's about it. You know, it's Friday night.
Get those fans and ACs going. You know, there was an old popular song way back in the 40s or 50s. It's June and January. It's going to be August and October.
Yeah, that's right, Jimmy. Yeah, well, that's good. I need to do the brakes on my car, so that'll be a good thing to do this weekend when it's nice and warm out.
Yeah, sounds good. Hey, I wanted to tell you, I was not able to hear the Nets this past Monday night. The conditions were just lousy. I couldn't hardly hear any stations talking hardly at all. It was just bad.
Oh, really? Oh, that's too bad. Well, 2 meters have been up and down here lately. This morning it was actually pretty good.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. Hey, Matt, I don't know if you heard the news or not, but the FCC has voted to give the CB operators the privileges to operate on FM. There's talk that when the new radios come out, they're going to be you're going to still have the traditional CB sideband channels as well as the FM. I'm asking the question tonight. FCC returned the 11-meter band back to ham radio operators.
I really don't have an opinion on that at this moment, but I think that what surprises me is they don't make them be licensed. I mean, the government license makes you have a license for everything, right? I just don't believe that they don't have those operators have to be licensed.
After some other ham said the same thing. You know, I agree wholeheartedly. I think they should be required to get a license. I was a CB operator back in the mid to late 70s, and it took me 8 weeks to get my license. So that was about it there. You couldn't hardly use the radio at all. By the base, the radios were sitting there. You couldn't use it at all until the license came. Yeah, my call sign was Kilo Yankee Delta 1738. Yeah, I agree wholeheartedly. I think they should make them. I can't even talk. CBers should be required to get a license. If we have to get a license, so do they.
Yeah, does anybody know, is there really a lot of traffic on the CB bands anymore?
Well, I think K9MED was saying they was listening to some channels. So on some channels, their frequency there's active. Other channels that they're not. But there is some activity on there. Not like it used to be though.
Yeah, I can believe that. Well, I think they should have to be licensed. Okay, if you're going to limit them to 2 watts, no, okay, maybe not. But if you're going to let them pump any kind of power, they should be licensed.
Yeah, I agree with you wholeheartedly. Okay, well, Matt, thank you for checking into the Friday Night Fun In, and thank you for mentioning me, putting me down as an honorary check-in and mentioning the Friday Night Fun Net. Every chance you get to do the Monday Night Net there.
No problem, Jimmy. Glad to do it. Have yourself a good evening.
Too, Matt. Enjoy the summer weather. Get that fan and AC cranked up. Thanks for checking in. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
Good evening, Jimmy. This is KD9GDY, Jim in Beloit.
KD9GDY, good evening, Jim, in Beloit. What's going on with you?
What a beautiful day, huh? Well, what's going on with me is I just got off of 160 meters. I was talking to my friends up there in the Sarah group around the Minneapolis area on 160 meters. It's been months and months since I've checked in with them. I actually didn't have my 160 meter antenna really at... I had the counterpoise rolled up and the coax not where it needed to be and all that. So actually I'm using my end fed for that. So anyway, other than that, not much. We got a lot accomplished today with the nice weather, and didn't play any radio today, but I thought I'd better get in and check in on your Friday Fun Net. So back to you there, Jimmy, KD9GDY.
Okay, sounds good there, Jim. I'm asking a question. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but the FCC has voted to give the CBers, to allow the CBers for FM privileges. So there was talk about some new radios come out with the traditional single sideband frequencies and the FM channels. I'm asking the question: should the FCC give the 11-meter band, what CB operates, to should he give the 11 meter band back to the ham radio operator?
Before my time, any of that, but I guess I've got enough frequencies to work with here. So if they want to have their 11 meters and do their FM and sideband on 11 meters, I think as far as I'm concerned, it's okay with me. But like I said, I'm a newbie to ham radio. I didn't get licensed till 16, so I don't know. That's just like I feel like I've got enough space out here on the frequencies to operate around 11 meters. So I'm saying, with me personally, I'm okay with it. Back to you, KD9GD.
Okay, now back in the day when I was a CB operator, we all had to get a license. As I've been saying during this net, it took me 8 weeks before my license came. What do you think those CB operators should be should be licensed like they used to be back in the day?
And I have to agree with the comment I heard just before I jumped on here, and that is, I think they should be limited to, if they're not going to be licensed, they need to be limited to maybe a couple 200 watts or less than that, I would think. That sounds right to me. So, anyway, it may be hard to get some of them guys to comply with the license and that, because they... I'm afraid a lot of guys would be jumping on because they have the radio and just think that they can go ahead and operate anyway. So maybe limited on power would be the answer from my perspective. Back over to you, Jimmy.
Okay, sounds good. Before the Citizens Band service came into being back in 1958, 11 meters was strictly ham radio. So, okay, that sounds good. Jim, thanks for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. Enjoy your evening, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you down the hall.
Jimmy, thanks for picking me up. KC9GCR, KD9GDY7.
Okay, at this time, are there any more stations who would like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go on. Okay, we're still in the Friday Night Fun Net. I already read. Oh boy, I read that. Just a minute. I think I read that question. We're still in the trivia segment there. So, all right. What do you want to do here? Okay. What are the toughest questions in the Tech General and Extra Q&A? Your tower questions, of course. You new listeners, those of you who are studying for your taking your test or get your first-time radio license, someday down the road, you're going to be involved in a tower climbing expedition. You're either going to be climbing the tower itself, or you're going to be part of the ground crew here. This next question might put you over the top as far as getting your ticket goes. So here it goes. This is a new question, too. Which is a proper grounding method for a tower? A single 4-foot ground rod driven into the ground no more than 12 inches from the base. B, a ferret core RF choke connected between the tower and ground. C, a connection between the tower base and a cold water pipe. D, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg bonded to the tower and each other. What is a proper grounding method for a tower? A single 4-foot ground rod driven into the ground no more than 12 inches from the base. B, a ferret core RF choke connected between the tower and ground. C, a connection between the tower base and a cold water pipe. D, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg bonded to the tower and each other. Anybody have a correct answer to this question?
Delta, K9MED.
Okay, Jim in Beloit, was that you? That's so, come back.
KD9MED, D Delta.
Going with D.
B Bravo, sorry, that's not correct. Thanks for trying anyway. Anybody else want to give it a shot?
D Delta, KD9MED. D Delta, KD9MED.
Mike, K9MED, did you say Alpha?
D Delta.
9 Norway.
Okay, stand by, Mike. Kurt, go ahead.
Yeah, the answer is D as in dog, and that's what Jim actually said. I think you've just misunderstood him. You thought he said B as in boy, but no, he actually said D as in dog.
Okay, Jim, Mike, and Kurt, all three of you are correct. Jim, I'm awful sorry about that. I misunderstood you, but all three of you are correct. All three of you are correct. Which is the proper grounding message for a tower? Correct answer is D Delta, separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg bonded to the tower and each other. Grounding rules for antennas and supports must be followed according to your local electrical code. Towers should be grounded with separate 8-foot long ground rods for each tower leg, bonded to the tower and each other. And read the license manual, page 9-17. Folks, I think we're going to bring to an end the Friday Night Fun Net Trivia segment for this week. We'll do it again next week. Sorry, net control screwed up there. Any more stations want to check the Friday Night Fun Net, please call now. Okay, well now I'm going to give you a rundown of all the other nets we have in the area. Let's see. At 10 o'clock, if you're able to pick up the 443.750 repeater in Chicago with a PL 114.8 plus offset, night watch net is held. That net is held 7 nights a week. So if you can't get into the repeater, you can get in via the echo link. Then don't forget, tomorrow evening at 8 p.m. here on this repeater, we got the Saturday evening rag tune net. Let's see, I do not know who will be the net control tomorrow night, but we go around about 2 or 3 or 4 different times. Sometimes net control has a topic to bring up. If you want to talk, if you don't want to talk about that, you can bring up another topic there. But that's what it's all about, rag tune. We go around about 3 or 4 times, talk about different stuff. It usually runs an hour and a half. But do check out the Saturday evening rag tune net if you haven't heard it already. Then if you are able to pick up the 146.910 repeater in Milwaukee, or technically it's in New Berlin, Wisconsin, you PL of 127.3 minus offset, you got the Saturday Night Fun Net. That net is a lot more structured than this one. You got checking a certain way. Some of the topics they talk about, I wouldn't even dream of bringing them up on this net. But it's a good net anyway. So do check it out. And let me reset. Greene County Aries Racing net meets on every evening at 7:30 p.m. on the one. Just a minute. Let's do that again. Greene County Aries Racing that meets every Sunday evening at 7:30 p.m. on the 145.110 repeater in the Monroe with a PL 123.0 minus offset. Scott, K9YI is net control. It's a combination Aries Races and rag tune net, if you know what I mean. Those of you who heard that net before, you know what I'm talking about. The Whiteside County Aries Races group meets at 8 p.m. Sunday evenings on the 146.850 repeater in Sterling. PL 114.8 minus offset. You shouldn't have any problem getting into that repeater. The antenna is about 300 feet in the air on the Illinois State Police District 1 radio tower. I see it got up to 78 degrees in Rockford. Record high was 87 back in 1947. 22 back in 1952. I'll take the 87 degrees any day. Okay, continuing on with the nets there. Big Thunder Amps Radio Club holds its Sunday evening net at 8 p.m. on the 147.375 repeater in Belvedere. That has a PL of 100.0 minus offset. And, okay, that's Monday evenings at 7 p.m. on this repeater. We got the Monday night rah-rah info net. Larry, K9KZT, and I share the duties of net control operator. I ran the net this past Monday. He'll run the net this coming Monday. Okay, the Lee County Areas Races Group holds its Monday evening net at 8 p.m. on the 146.970 repeater in Dixon with a PL of 82.5 minus offset. The Kitchwaukee Apps Radio Club holds its Monday evening net at 8:30 p.m. on the 146.730 repeater in the cab with a PL of 100.0 minus offset. K9HWK, Matt, one of the net control operators, just checked into this net there. He always mentions the Friday night fun net. He always puts me down as an honorary checking on that net. So, okay. Tuesday evenings, you got 2 nets at 7 o'clock. We got the Tuesday Health and Tech net at 7 p.m. on the 147.195 repeater in Rockford, the PL 114.8 plus offset with Larry, Ace 9GO is your net control station. We ask everybody how they're doing health-wise, if anybody has any technical questions. At the same time that net's going on, the Rock County Areas Races net is held also at 7 p.m. on the 145.450 repeater in Janesville with a PL 123.0 minus offset. The Old County Apps Radio Net Ferrari Skywarn meets at 9 p.m. on the 147.165 repeater in Oregon that has a PL of 146.2 plus offset. Wednesday evenings at 7 p.m. here in Freeport on the 147.390 repeater, PL 114.8 plus offset. I host the weekly Stevenson County Areas Net. At 7:30 p.m. on Wednesdays on the 147.120 repeater in the Boyd with PL 123.0 plus offset, the Greater Boyd Amp Radio Club holds its Wednesday evening net. I regret to say I can hardly hear that repeater at all. So, okay. Then at 8 p.m. here in Freeport on the 147.390 repeater, PL 114.8 plus offset. We have our Wednesday evening SWAT net. Mel, K9RFD, and I share the duties of net control operators. I ran the net this past Wednesday. I had a total of 9 check-ins. Mel is a trustee of our repeater. He brings his AMP radio news line. 15-minute independent news broadcast devoted entirely to amateur radio. If you haven't heard that net yet, do listen to it. It's a good net. If you can't hear it on the internet, I'm sure it's broadcast on the internet. But if you get a chance, if you can't hear it, tune to the 3.9 repeater at 8 p.m. on Wednesdays with our SWAT, and then you can hear the AMP radio news line. Uh, 63 degrees in Rockford and 61 degrees in Freeport right now. Watching the weather on the WTVO after 9 o'clock news. This is K9GCR, the Friday Night Fun Net on the W9AXD Repeater in Rockford, transferring from Friday Night Fun Net to Central here in Freeport. Do we have any more stations you want to check in? Please go on. Oh, we're showing downtown Rockford. Looking to the south, Wyman Street is deserted. Well, you know why it's deserted. Everybody's at home. Everybody's staying at home listening to Friday Night Fun Net. Okay. Oh, yeah. Thursday evenings at 7 p.m. on the 147.195 repeater. In Rockford, PL 114.8 plus offset. You got the Northern Illinois Skywarn training net with Rick, WX9RLT. I'm happy to report that Ricky was back on the air last night. They were the roundtable was talking about the APRS and the digit meters they want to get set up here. So that's good. We talk about the Skywarn training. We'll get you ready for a severe weather season. Severe weather can happen any time of the year, as we all well know. Then immediately following the Skywarn train net, I host the Thursday evening Health and Tech Net. That's same thing we talk about on Tuesday night. How you doing health-wise? If anybody has a technical question. Let me remind you, at the end of the respective nets on Monday, Tuesdays, and Thursday nights, Larry, K9KZT has a Morse code practice. There was no CW practice on Tuesdays and last night. So, but he'll pick it up again this coming Monday night. So, okay. And those of you on HF, we got the C-Now net, which is hosted by Chuck, WD9BB. It's between $1,400 and $1,500 Zulu, or from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. local time on 14.287 megahertz, 20 meters upper sideband. All right, you're all up to date on your local nets. Support your local net control operators, your local nets. Support your local repeaters. You're a member of any ham radio club, by all means support your local clubs. Any more stations would like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net, please call now.
AC9GCR, K9FLO.
K9FLO, hello, the Dean, how you doing?
Hi, Jimmy. How's the net going tonight?
The net's going great there. You're checking number the 24, and everything's going well tonight.
Well, that's good. Yeah, it's Friday, beautiful day today. Nice to be able to get outside and get some things done for the fall-winter transition. And so it's been good. Do some more tomorrow and we'll be ready for the winter.
Yeah, shudder to think about that. Like I said, it's going to be August and October. Get those fans and ACs ready, that's for sure. Dean, I'm asking a question. I don't know if you heard the news or not, but the FCC voted to allow CB operators to use FM. So, there's talk about when the new radios come out, they might have your traditional sideband channels as well as the FM, channels. So I don't know whether it'll be going or what have you, but I'm asking the question. Should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to the ham radio operators? What do you say?
Oh, wow, good question. First of all, whether it be AM sideband or FM, of course, FM takes up a little more bandwidth. Other than full quieting, I guess I don't see a big difference as far as just giving an option to basically a band that doesn't really exist, I guess. I don't know how to look at that. But it'd be fine. As far as going back, I'll tell you what, I still have two transmitters here and three receivers that still receive 11 meters. So I guess I'm rather ancient as far as that goes. But it's always be nice to have it back. You know, really, I don't think it was fair time for the FCC to take it away, but of course they did have the technology there to be able to create I think they have a version of CB above 460 megacycles, something like that. So technology has made things a lot different. They can have something up there. but I'm sure whatever happens is going to happen there, Jimmy. KC9GCR, K9FO.
Yeah, well, that's the way I haven't taken I don't have an opinion one way or another. But few rants brought up the questions about their suggestion that the CB radio operators be licensed again, just like I was back in the day. What do you say about that?
Well, if I remember right, that was licensed for, gosh, I got to remember that, Class D, which was basically business band radio. It was never ever licensed for personal radio use. It was more a business radio. If I remember, it was never, let's put it this way, it was never licensed for hobby application. It was always originally the business end of it. In other words, in those days, your tow truck drivers between the gas stations and their base, whatever, and, all the stuff like that. Yeah, that's interesting. I mean, of course, as far as the FCC is concerned, if there's a way for them to make more money, there certainly will probably try to put that into effect. And then, of course, they can share some of those 87,000 IRS agents they're going to hire with the FCC to administer it there, Jimmy, KC9GCR, K9FO.
You got a point there. Okay, hey, I'll tell you how it was back here in Freeport there, back when I was a CB operator. Channel 9, of course, and it still is the emergency channel. I used to monitor that a lot when I was a CB operator. And Channel 8 here in Freeport was one of the local cab companies that used that. Now, let's see. Then there was talk about farmers getting allocating a channel to the farmers so they can have their own channels. Let's see. 16 and 17, of course, were by a gentleman's agreement were reserved for sideband traffic. And let's see here. Here it was here in Stevens County. 3 fire departments used a CB channel 22 for their radio communications, as well as the village of Pecatonica police department. Because I used to monitor that frequency way. I even was involved in the communications with that department one time for an emergency call. But that was the way it was back in the day here in Freeport.
Interesting. That's true. In other words, it was basically public service radio, and it's like you said, it was everything above. The police department had access, and the fire department, and ambulance services. Of course, your businesses that had, like obvious one like the gas stations for their their tow truck drivers and delivery people. That was pretty much the common mode of communications, and that was the intent of it back in the 50s. And then it changed later on. I think now, of course, it's a different world. They have different technologies to be able to do that, but it took a long time for that to change. But it once the VHF was opened up so that the business radio users, they went up to the VHF for the not so much privacy, but less issues with noise transmission. In other words, skip, stuff like that. So that was a real blessing for them to get up there into the VHF channels, not have that problem anymore. And of course, it knocked the range down on it quite a bit in the sense that it was much more defined range. So if you had a service area of like your had a 30-mile area that you serviced, that worked quite well, especially in the VHF. And then eventually UHF came about. But yeah, that's interesting that
they want to do that. I think, no doubt, if the idea is coming up, that there's got to be a monetary gain to it. I don't think in this day and age nothing's done for free, or wow, we want to be just wonderful or great about it. It's going to be, somebody's got to make money in it, and if the FCC can go back to licensing, they'll do it. And then, of course, like I said, we got all those new IRS agents, and they just have them, contract them to do the FCC work there, Jimmy.
I agree with you wholeheartedly there. This is K9GCR, the Friday Night Fund, and the W9AXD Repeater, Rockford transferring for Friday Night Fund, etc. in Freeport. Dean, so hold on. I don't know if Kurt K9 is listening or not. Kurt, are you still listening? If you are, go back to Dean there.
Okay, Jimmy, no problem. KC9GCR. This is KE9N and K9FLO. Is all well in the antenna rotator department?
The rotator is working great. Now I've got something goofy going on with the controller. And I'm thinking now that maybe something had happened a while back as far as Mother Nature is concerned. And so I got some goofy things going on in the ARCO. So I'm going to have to get a hold of the new service center, I think it's DX Engineering, and see what they have any ideas. Yeah, it's skipping counts for some odd reason. So I don't know, it's just acting goofy. One thing I haven't done is I got to look and see if there's some way to do like a mass reset, reboot everything, and I don't know if you can do that or not. I'm sure there is a way, but so that's kind of the thought on that there. What do you think of that, Kurt? Go ahead.
Well, that sounds like a pretty good idea. That you might as well start out simple. There is a place in the menu, if I remember right, where you go and you can do a factory default and bring it back to that, or I don't know if you can reload the firmware manually or automatically, whatever you want to say, because it's going to tell you it's up to date. But you could maybe check that. But boy, I think in the menu system somewhere, I think there's probably a factory default. Put everything back to the way it was. I would maybe start with that.
I would agree. That's kind of my thought. Is it got garbaged up? I know one of the things I found that happened too, and kind of I'm leading this direction on here, is I have had a box out at the base of the tower that had a lightning. Boy, I'm losing my thinking here. Went across each lead. And it was, if I remember, an MOV and whatever. And anyway, that was your lightning protection for each lead. And I pulled that out today, and I found one of them bad. And so that made me kind of nervous that something might have happened. That's why I kind of brought that up. So, and who knows how long it's been there? Probably earlier in the season, but when we were back when we had all those rains and lightning and all that stuff. Certainly could have something happened there. So it's just odd, and it's like so I got that. I just took that all out of the system, but it might have got further in that and kind of knocked something out. I don't know. There's no information on the design as far as it goes for how they handle the output in the sense of how the isolation's done and everything else. So it's going to make an interesting winter there, Kurt.
Well, you might hit on something there. Now, I had the problem with my Orion, and what was happening is it was kind of missing counts as well. And what I did is I took and I did the MOV thing and then the .01 capacitor to ground across each of the 4 leads. You had 2, of course, for the power, and then 2 for the feedback. And what happened was, when I did that, that wasn't a good idea, because in the control box itself, they had, and I'm trying to think of the term, it's not a transorb, that's not the right word. I thought it started with a T though, but they had a device already across those leads in my control box, which was the Green Heron Engineering one, and that worked okay, but it was either the MOV or the capacitor on the feedback part that I had out by the tower was goofing me up. And so I took those out then, and I never had a problem since then.
Well, that's kind of what I'm leading to. I took them out, and I haven't had a chance to further check it today, because it was getting late out, and we had to go down to Rockford for the evening. But yeah, I think that's what's happening here. Just odd, because it had one that was bad in there, and I think it was on the control lead. Unfortunately, when I took it out, I didn't pay attention. Was it on the return or not? Or which, in other words, which lead it was on? Because your one axis is the return, and so I didn't pursue that. But I know after checking, oh boy, this is not a good thing. And who knows if that, and you're exactly right, it's just an MOV and a cap going to ground on each lead. And I don't know if that could have goofed something up in the ARCO on that. It just doesn't want to count right. It works great. I mean, no issues at all with the motor part of it, the rotor itself. And I'm watching it on the scope. I see the pulses are just great. But once it going into that control box there, it's just like it loses count or something to that effect. And I hope it's not the case, because I've got a feeling it'll probably be very challenging to get that repaired. I'm not even sure who does repair them, if DX would be that or not. So yeah, that's what I'm kind of leaning towards now.
Well, it would seem to me, why don't you just bypass those? I think you got, what, probably 4 leads as well? Maybe 5, I don't know. Whatever. I would bypass that, the box you have outside with the caps and the MOVs, because MOVs eventually get weak over time. If you keep getting a pulse that makes them trigger a little bit, every time they get a little pulse from anything, that trigger voltage starts dropping down, and as it drops down now, it's probably spitting more to ground, so to speak. I would bypass all that, and if you want to have some protection though there, what I've got is I've got some gas discharge tubes they got leads on them, and they're 75 volt, I believe, gas discharge tubes. And I would just use those, maybe, go into ground, use that on all the leads. And I can remember now, in the Green Heron Engineering box, what they had was what they called TVS. I didn't know what it meant. It was transient voltage suppressors, and that was in the box. But out at the tower, where I had the capacitor and the 0.01 caps to ground, that messed up the counting on everything. So I took those out, since I knew they had protection at least in the box, and that seemed to work pretty good. I never ever had another problem with that. So if I was you, I would at least temporarily take and bypass that box and then recalibrate it and see how it works for a couple weeks at least. You know, the good news is you're past the point of thunderstorms in general, so I don't think it would hurt. K9FLO, KE9M.
Well, I'm already ahead of you. I bypassed them late this afternoon and took them all out and put everything direct, and I got the box down here disabled. In fact, I just get around to doing it as you were speaking. And you're right, it's the old MOVs. I forgot. Yep, this was one. Oh, I think I bought it from one of the companies online, like Array Solutions or one of those. And it's just the MOV with a cap. They're going to ground, and yeah, that's a good idea on the gas discharge for sure. I just wonder if, not having looked inside the ARCO, if they had something like that. Unfortunately, you know, they don't provide any kind of circuitry, definition, layout, whatever. So that makes it kind of difficult to, without going in and taking it apart. And you know what it's like to take that thing apart. That's another story in itself.
Yeah, that's not fun. Well, keep in mind, normally those, and I had the same kind of box that you did. I bought them from Array Solutions. Now I build my own. But the point would be, those usually are okay with rotors that don't have just a pulse feedback, like the high gain rotors. That's all voltage feedback. The Yaesu rotors, that's voltage feedback. You know, there's a lot of them out there that you're just feeding back a voltage on your meter indication, and it's not a big deal on the power leads. But when you do a pulse feedback, that's a little different, because when you do that and now you have some capacitance going to ground, that could almost dampen the pulse a little bit too.
Yep, that's a good idea. That's something I'm gonna. Yeah, like I said, I got the scope on this. I'm watching it. The pulse on it, nice, pretty looking square wave going out. So per se, and that's somewhere along the line. It's losing its counting reference, and as you know, the controller has got a horrendous amount of options in there. So I think what I'm going to do is go in there and do if I can do an entire reset. I'm losing the term now, but you know what I'm talking of. Where you can reset everything back to ground zero and re-input everything all over. So I think that's the direction I'm going to do. Just who knows what has happened in the last 2 or 3 months, especially with the storms we had. There, you know, you just don't think of that till after you have something not working right, and anyway, it drives you goofy. Sorry, Jamie, didn't mean to tie up your net here. I see it's even getting towards the prison lockdown time. But then, you know, Jimmy, by the way, they may not do that anymore, since they don't put anybody in jail anymore. They just let them all go after they did something. K9NRFD.
Hey, no problem. Yeah, I think you're on to something there, but I do remember that with my Orion, which worked the same way with feedback, though, and I was losing counts, and I would recalibrate it, and then it would still be off, and it was, I don't know about my own fault, but I had those MOVs and capacitors out on those 4 lines, and I took those out and never had any problems once I knew that there was these TVS diodes. That's what they're called. It's a transient voltage suppressor diode, and they had those on the inside. So I thought, well, okay, I never did have ever a problem, but when I had them 4 things across there, that was an issue. So you might be onto something there. Taking those out, do a fresh factory default setting on your box, then recalibrate everything and see if that works okay. So that might have been the bottom problem. And you know, MOVs are kind of a blessing and a curse at the same time, because yeah, they do protect some, but every time they get a hit, and you know, they have to run of some voltage to ground, they get weaker and weaker and weaker, and that trigger voltage gets lower and lower. So, like I said, they're kind of an exhaustible part. When they start to fail, you just take them out and put a new one in. But I do have those spark gap TVS. Well, it's a gas discharge tubes. And I got some for rated at about 75 volts, so if you want to put those across just to be safe, that would work just fine. Anyhow, I'll let you go. Jimmy's might be charging us by the minute or something, so I don't run up too much of a bill. Plus, yeah, it's almost lockdown time, so I'm going to go upstairs. Maybe get my striped pajamas on. I'll send it back to you then, Jimmy. KC9GCR, KE9N.
Hey guys, I think this is one of the best parts of the whole net. When you guys get together and rag you, like this is not a formal net at all. We most all the nets around here are formal, but I decided this is not going to be the case with the finite fun net. So this is wonderful, and it's almost I've almost reached the point where we're probably getting ready to close it down anyway. But you guys, this is what. This is great. I have no quarrel with you guys whatsoever. Thanks to both you guys for checking in, and you guys have a wonderful evening. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night on the Saturday evening ride tune.
Okay, sounds good, Jimmy. And by the way, Dean, I got my wood poles put in the holes in the yard where my tower's going to go, and I've got the tower base in the hole. So the next step is to get some cement. KE9N, I'll be clear.
Sounds great, Kurt. Alrighty, catch you later. And hopefully Mother Nature will be cooperative next week for that. Back to you, Jimmy, K9FLO.
Okay, Dean and Kurt, you guys have a good night, and we'll talk to you down the line, maybe tomorrow night on Saturday evening, right, tune that. That convenes at 8 p.m. here on this repeater. I don't know who'll be in that control. All right. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
Jimmy, KD9GDY, I had a comment. CR.
Yeah, just hold on. Somebody calling the K9GCR. Go ahead. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
K9GDY, let me see if I got it. I've got it. I just wanted to say hi to Dean, K9FLO, and Kurt. And thanks, Kurt, for getting that answer squared away earlier. Hi. And I did want to mention, I did talk to Chuck today, W9AXD, and I guess he's got his tractor, John Deere tractor, all figured out. So that's all I got, and I'll send it. I just wanted you guys, if you're still listening, to get that. And this is KD9GDY. I'll send it back over to Jimmy.
Jim, no problem. And yeah, I talked to Chuck yesterday and found out it was the points, that had failed in his tractor, so he's up and running.
Roger. Okay, real good. KC9GCR, KD9GDY.
Momentarily, I think everybody's checked in who's going to check in. They've got to make a few more announcements, and then that's going to be it. But thanks to you guys. Maybe we'll catch you tomorrow night on the Saturday evening radio tune at 8 o'clock on this repeater. So, okay. Any more stations want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now.
KC9GCR. This is KC9YI, Kilo Charlie 9 Yankee India.
KC9YI, Scott and Monroe. We got you. Good signal tonight, Scott. What's going on with you?
Oh, just listening in here a little bit and trying to get this new radio to work. So I think I finally got it. Got the right PL in it finally. So anyway, just checking in.
Okay, sounds good. I don't know if you heard the news or not, Scott, but the FCC voted to they're going to open up an FM band to CB operators. What they're talking about doing, maybe when new radios come out, they'll have the traditional CB sideband frequencies as well as the FM frequencies. And I'm asking everybody, doing a survey, should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to the amateur radio operators? What do you say about that?
I don't think they'll ever do that, but who knows? Maybe. I doubt it. I think that they've established that citizens band in that segment, and it's been allocated for that for quite a long time, and there's a lot of equipment like that out. So I don't think that will happen.
Yeah, okay. Well, I'll put you down to the no. Nobody has said yes, so it's all. We got a shutout going. 5-6 nothing now against, and two stations in or three stations in between. Well, here's the thing. CB sure ain't like it used to be. At least back when I was in it there, they said that it's a lot of channels are dead. You don't hear much on the truckers channel and anymore. Kerry, K9MED was saying, so he monitors CB, says there's sometimes there's traffic, on some channels, other times there's no traffic at all.
It's not like it used to be, that's for sure. There are, bootleggers and people that are running a lot more power than they're supposed to, operating citizens band. I think it just, if you can confine the mayhem to that portion of the spectrum, I don't think you'd want to. I wouldn't want to try to buck that. It's bad enough when they operate in the 10-meter band. That's bad enough, and to try to police that and everything, I think it'd be just a nightmare. I think it's been permanently spoiled, and I think it should just stay that way.
Sounds good. Well, so some hands brought up about the fact that maybe it's time to have the CB operators be licensed again, just like it was back in the day. Like when I was a CB operator, it took me 8 weeks before my license went through. But what do you think about should we make the new CB operators get a license? What do you think about that?
I don't know. The FCC has enough trouble regulating the frequencies that are out there. Like I say, I don't see any great future in that. I don't know if they would, if they would encompass. If they were going to crack down and police that, but there are a lot of CB. I've got one in my car, and I'll be tooling down the road, and there's a lot of truckers that have that. Some of them have the GMRS ones now, and some have ham radios, but I don't know. I don't know how they'll ever. I just don't see a lot of cooperation in that part of the spectrum. I don't know. I guess I'm always old-fashioned, don't want to change things, but I just don't see any hope to, so to speak, clean that area up. I mean, you'd have to have a massive policing event, and I don't think the government wants to spend to do that.
Yeah, that could be. You're very, very right about that. So, okay. Well, thanks for your inputs there, Scott, and thanks for checking in. We'll definitely catch you on the Green County Net this coming to Sunday night. But I know this the topic was done as a result of we had some rag chewing we did after one of the nets earlier this week. So, okay, Scott, thanks for checking in. 73, have a good evening. We'll definitely talk to you Sunday night. K9GCR will be clear.
Okay, Jim, the only final thought I have is that, well, if they do have FM in there and they would, maybe bring it under the GMRS type of thing where people bought a license to operate, in that part. Maybe they could have like repeaters and stuff like that, but that frequency, there's just skip there, and it just was, I don't think they expected that much propagation. And, you'd have people trying to talk skip through the repeaters, and I think it would just be a nightmare, like it is now, really. So anyway, I guess that's my 2 cents. KC9GCR and the net, 73, and good night. This is KC9YI.
73, Scott, have a good day, evening, enjoy your weekend. We'll talk to you on the Green County Net this coming Sunday night. This is KC9GCR with the Friday Night Fun Net on the W9AXD Repeater in Rockford, transmitting for Friday Night Fun Net Central in Freeport. It is now 10 p.m. curfew time. Parents, you know where your children are at. Lockdown, lockdown. At this moment, Winnebago County Jail is going into lockdown. All the jail attendants, the guards, or whatever, they're putting the jailbirds all Betty by. Kerry, K9MED was telling me he listens to the jail frequencies there on the scanner every night, exactly 10 o'clock at this time. They're saying lockdown, so that's what's happening. Lockdown. Okay, at this time, do we have any more stations I'd like to check in the Friday Night Fun Net from anywhere? Please call. Okay, we're just going to get ready to wrap it up here. But I will check out the Friday Night Fun Net Central Facebook page. You get a lot of pertinent information about the net. You see updated pictures of my ham shack. And remember, this net is being recorded for future rebroadcasts on the Friday Night Fun Net Facebook page. You can listen to this net after it's posted, or the last 2 nets about Oktoberfest. What was your favorite beer, or what's your favorite German food, or what have you. So that'd be great. Listen. Every night is Friday night when you listen to the Friday Night Fun Net, or all day, every day, all night, every night. Just give it a listen, and you'll find out. Ricky, WX9RLT does, and hopefully a lot more people does it. Then the next I want to tell you about the Friday Night Fun Net Central Hotline, area code 815-232-FN, 232-3636. No hotline check-ins tonight so far. But when I'm transmitting, if you hear that phone ring, that's a real telephone ring, folks. Not that phony baloney cell phone ring. So that's okay. That's about it. This is KC9GCR, the Friday Night Fun Net, and W9AXD Repeater Rockford, transmitting from Friday Night Fun Net Center in Freeport. Do we have any more stations you want to check in? Please call now. All right, let me do my honorary check-ins then. Let's see. N9ARB, Tony, REC here in Stevenson County. HC honorary check-in is Better Half, Tracy. N9TAB. HC honorary check-in. We mustn't forget the beautiful Kishwaukee River Yacht Club south of Rockford. Scott, A. K9 Silver Fox HC honorary checking. I already got N9ZO, Richard. I thought probably he'd check him, but I checked him in earlier than that tonight. Please keep him in your thoughts and prayers. Please pray that his cold doesn't get worse, and in fact it goes away. All right. Richard is one of the best guys in the whole world. He doesn't check in Auburn, but he listens every Friday night. Okay. We'll try it. Let me reset. K9FEO. Justin, HC honorary check-ins. Let's see. Oh, that's right. W9KLG checked in earlier. Let's see. Hold on. AC9JZ. Mike, HC honorary check-in. Let's see. AC9GO in Rockton. We'll put him down. Then W9RLT. Ricky, HC honorary check-in. Okay. 32 check-ins so far. Do we have any more stations who'd like to check the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Well, I see on the news West State Street in Rockford is now reopened. It sure looks nice, too, looking at all that construction work there. They did a beautiful job of that. There goes a fire truck going by, so okay. Okay, I want to thank the Rah-Rah Board of Directors, Kurt K9, the Rah-Rah President, for allowing me to use this repeater to host the Friday Night Fun Net. I'm going to... Excuse me. I'm going to run down the list of stations who checked in so far. I started with my one and only early bird check-in, 89YE, Dave and Broadhead. So, okay. Okay, 89VU, K9AGR, N9GBP, W3BMX, AK9F, KD9HKX, Lauren Roscoe, AC9NW, K9QDB, K9KCT, K9QPL. KD9SSV, KD9MED. We're recording this and that live stream this on the internet, recording it on for future replay and Friday Night Fun Net Facebook page. N9OEG, Chris in South Florida. KD9MEP, Carrie, KD9N, the Kurt, K9ZIP, W9KLG, myself, K9GC, our net control. N9ZO, we'll put him down as non-hurry check-in. K9EPZ, K9HWK, KD9GDY, K9FLO Dean, K9YI. Then my honorary check-ins. N9ARB, N9TAB, A9SF, K9FEO, AC9JZ, AC9GO, and last but certainly not least, the host of the Northern Illinois Skywarn Training Net, Ricky, WX9RLT. Okay, my one early bird check, let's see, we got a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 23 on-air check-ins. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 honorary check-ins. One early bird check-ins leaves a grand total of 32 check-ins. Any more stations want to check the Friday Night Fun Net? Please call now. Oh, yes. I forgot. Rick, K9QDP. He's check-in number 33, honorary check-ins. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 honorary check-ins. Okay. Be sure you tell your mothers, your fathers, your sons and daughters, your brothers and sisters, your aunts and uncles, your nieces, your nephews, your your grandparents, your in-laws, your neighbors across the street, down the street, next door. Be sure you tell your butcher, your baker, your candlestick maker. Be sure to tell the clerk behind the checkout counter at your grocery store. Be sure to tell the clerk behind the counter at your local convenience store. Be sure to tell the clerk behind the counter at your local post office when you buy your stamps and envelopes. By the way, stamps are going up next January. About 4 or 5 cents, something like that. Be aware. And would be sure you tell the clerk behind the checkout, your cashier at your local bank when you withdraw money. One moment, please. Be sure you tell the members of your local PTA or PTO. Be sure you tell your new car dealer, your used car dealer, your garage mechanic. Be sure you tell your priests, your ministers, your rabbis, your mullahs, your ayatollahs, your imams. Be sure you tell your, okay. Be sure you tell your probation officer, your parole officer, your divorce lawyer. Be sure you tell your boyfriends, your girlfriends, your ex-boyfriends, your ex-girlfriends, your husbands, your wives, your ex-husbands, your ex-wives, your ex-in-laws, and of course your old ladies about the Friday night fun day. The more check-ins, the better. Than that, make sure you have a valid FCC license before you check in. Sorry, folks, we do not take check-ins from jailbirds, jammers, potty mouths, crackheads, dopeheads, potheads, and telemarketers. If you clench your fist or take a knee when the national anthem is being played, we don't take your check-ins. If you don't back the bull, we don't take your check-ins. That's all there is to it. Okay, anybody have any additional questions, comments, or traffic or input they'd like to bring before the net?
KC9CFL checking in. No traffic.
KC9CFL, good evening, Mike. What's going on with you?
Not much. Just working, breathing in and out. Messing with my WinLink gateway, getting that all squared away as much as I can. That's pretty much it. Hanging out with the family. My wife is coming up soon. She's running for county board, so in the greater Rockton area, District 2, I think. But so she's been doing a lot of stuff with that, so I've been spending a lot of time with the kids. KC9, CFL, back to net control.
That's great. We wish her luck in this and the election, too, less than 2 weeks away. Okay, sounds good. I'm asking a question. We heard the FCC has given the okay for put on new radios for CB operators so they can go to FM. There's talk that they might go to bring the traditional sideband channels as well as the new FM channels put in when the new radios come out. I'm asking the question tonight. Should the FCC return the 11-meter band back to the ham radio operators? What do you say about that?
I think that we should have any band that we use. So, like, there's not a lot of use on the 220 band. But, yeah, I think that the 11-meter band should definitely come back to us.
Okay, sounds good. And several hands brought up that said that the new CBers should be licensed, just like it was back in the day when I was a CB operator. What do you say about that?
I am definitely with that. I am too young to remember needing a license for CB, but as soon as they stopped that, let's put it this way, it wasn't very family-friendly conversation after that. So it's one of the reasons I got into ham is because it was family-friendly. You know, I could have my radio on, I didn't have to worry about vulgar content. You know, so it was safe for the kids to listen to it with me. So yeah, I think there should be licensing, and also it's, you know, the government's always looking for more money. It's fines, you know. So KC9, CFL, back to control.
Okay, that sounds good. Sounds good. Okay. Here's a Halloween radio nut joke. You know you're a radio nut when you invite all your children, and your grandchildren and the neighborhood children to your haunted ham shack. That's from Chris at K9RFD. What do you think about that?
Nice. I always love the radio nut jokes.
next Friday, well, it's going to be our annual Halloween edition of Friday Night Fun, and I'm going to read every single radio nut joke I have. So that's great. I know all about the CB operators back. It took me 8 weeks when I got my license back in 1975. I know all about the potty mouths and what have you. There was a virtual war. Some people they were going to come and blow up your house or cut your coax or what have you.
Yeah, there was a lot of threats. It just wasn't good.
That's why a lot of the ham radio operators today who I know and talk to, that they were CB operators. That's why they got away from that. That's So, okay, sounds good. Mike, thank you for checking the Friday Night Fun Net. Enjoy your evening and enjoy your weekend. Hopefully we'll catch you next week.
Thanks a lot, Jimmy. Thanks for hosting the net. You have a great week. K9RFD will be clear.
Okay, are there any more stations who want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net? Please go now. Anybody have any additional questions, comments, or input you'd like to bring before the net? Please go ahead. Okay, with that, there was a great net tonight. Got a lot of fun. Let's see, 6-0. Say no. The FCC should not return the 11-meter bands back to the ham. So okay. There was a great net tonight, and we got our Halloween edition net next week. Okay, this is the last call for any stations who want to check in the Friday Night Fun Net. Remember, we're in the region with or out traffic. Please call K9GCR. Last call for Ratchet Joe. Okay, tune in again next week, same time, same repeater for another edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. Until then, this is Jim, K9GCR. Net control of the Friday Night Fun Net now goes down this Friday, October 21st, 2022 edition of the Friday Night Fun Net. And return the repeater and frequency to normal amateur radio use at 10:19 p.m. Central Daylight Time. Let's see, 3 hours and 19 minutes Zulu time, with a total of 34 check-ins overall. 7-3s, everybody. Have a good evening. This is K9GCR wishing you all a very pleasant good night. KD9MED, K9MED, K9GCR.
KD9MED.
Go ahead and post it, Mike, at 2 hour 19 minute net. That's unofficial count of 34 check-ins overall.
Copy that, Jimmy. Live stream.
Thanks for all you do, Mike. 7-3, have a good evening. Talk to you next Friday night. K9GCR, be clear. Good night.
All right, 73 to